Microphone check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's good with it? Who got more game than Sun do? Welcome to Zone 864 TV. I'm your host, Zone. Make sure you guys hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're not a subscriber. Make sure you hit that notification bell so that you get a notification every time I do a live stream or drop a video. You dig? A little bit of housekeeping. Make sure that y'all leave a comment after the stream. Leave a comment after the stream. It helps get the video in the algorithm. Good morning to everybody. It's about 3:30 a.m. West Coast time for me. About 6:30 on the East Coast. People about to start getting up here shortly. So y'all see the title, man. We're going to talk about it for a little bit. Queen Yada apparently is ending an 8-year relationship with, I guess you could, is it with her husband? Because he says that he has multiple wives, right? So she would be considered his husband. She would be considered, sorry, I said that all wrong. Pause, man. She would be considered his wife. Says he has multiple wives. Give me 1 second. Okay, my bad, y'all. But make sure y'all hit that like button. So, yeah, man. So we got a situation. I don't know too much about homie. You know what I'm saying? I don't really watch a lot of his content. I've seen some clips and some clips of him debating people. I've seen shorts on YouTube. I've seen clips of him here and there, but from what I get from homie, he's one of these dudes that's like an influencer, and I guess he panders to what women want to hear. You know what I'm saying? Just about trying to make it seem like, I guess, he's the ultimate alpha male. And, if your man is not doing this, he's weak, and, and if he ain't living up to my expectation of what I have to my wife, you need to get a new man. And he says things like that. Some people say that they like his messaging, and then I see other people say that, he's a fraud, scammer, grifter. My whole thing about it with dudes like him is like when you're trying too hard to convey something, when you're trying to just be like this super ultimate, overly masculine, so-called alpha person, alpha male, that's when I start giving you the side eye. Because anybody, I guess you could say, like, most dudes that's about something for real, that's about their business, they don't want people in their business like that. They don't want, even if they got a situation where they got multiple girlfriends, multiple wives, I guess this whole poly stuff is in, whatever. Typically speaking, like dudes that's about that life for real, you know what I'm saying? And if that's the way you moving, like, it's no shade, but typically they're quiet. They're not trying to put all of their business out there for social media, because the more attention you draw to yourself, the more issues, the more problems you typically have. You feel what I'm saying? But he's kind of like one of these Andrew Tate kind of dudes, you know what I'm saying? Like just overly over the top with everything. You know what I'm saying? And notice that it's these dudes that, you know, brag about having all these women. These are the dudes that get caught up the worst and caught up the most. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, we're going to be taking a look. We're going to be taking a look at some information. So, you know, there are some allegations floating around that, you know, Yada Awakening has put his hands on his wife inappropriately in a physical type of way that you should not put your hands on a woman in that type of way. You know what I'm saying? And it's allegations, obviously, because, you know, we have to let the details come out. I know we're in a time where, you know, social media is just everywhere. People are streaming, posting all the time on social media. You know what I'm saying? And we are in the time frame of, you know, well, if it's out there, he did it. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm not even gonna lie, like when I was searching the internet, trying to find information on this dude and trying to verify information, like it wasn't a lot of positive stuff that came up. You know what I'm saying? Like I was seeing a whole lot of negative headlines. He's a fraud, he's a scammer, you know, he's an abuser, things like that. That's what I was seeing, like when I was searching, you know, through a lot of information. You know what I'm saying? And I low key didn't want to talk about this, but I figured, you know what I'm saying? Like, why not talk about it? You know what I'm saying? Why not? You know, I typically don't talk about these type of subjects. I really don't even talk about relationships like that on my channel, but I'm actually going to start talking about that more and more for the simple fact that it's a lot of people out. It's a lot of men and young men out here that are just knuckleheads. And, you know, it's just so much bad information, so much bad teaching, you know, so much immaturity going on. And I figured, why not jump in the mix and add my 2 cents so that for some young knucklehead, you know, some young man that's in his 20s, early 30s or whatever, you know what I'm saying, that's scrolling the internet looking for something to watch, why not watch The Zone? Why not hear, you know, some information that could potentially help you going forward? And I'm not saying that I have all the answers, and, you know what I mean, I'm not the king of game, and I don't, you know, I'm not claiming that I got like a super mouthpiece and all of that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just here to do what I can do. You know what I'm saying? And if anything that I say helps somebody along the way, it's just a plus and an added bonus for me. Make sure y'all hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so that you get a notification every time I go live. Make sure y'all leave a comment after this video, because when you leave a comment after the video, make sure y'all hit the hype button too, because it's going to help get the video in the algorithm, and you know what I mean, it's going to bring more people in to the video, right? So Yada Awakening has these allegations that he has been abusive towards his wife, Queen Yada. I believe that's her name. That's what I've been seeing on social media. And I'm not even going to lie, like, yes, I'm probably jumping to conclude, you know what I mean? I'm assuming, and I'm jumping to conclusion, but he does kind of fit that demeanor of, you know, one of these like ultimate controlling dudes that, you know what I mean, that would put his hands on a woman. Shout out to A-Team in the building. Shout out to A-Team in the building. Hold on one second. Man, why is my see here. What is going on with my settings here? Sorry, y'all. Weird things always happen sometimes when you live streaming, and you got to be able to fix it. I don't know why it's not letting me fix this situation. Let me hold on. Fix it on the fly. All right. You see here. Pop that, do that. Make sure y'all hit the like button, y'all. Apologize here. You just hit a quick refresh. Wow, that's crazy. That is absolutely crazy, yo. Boom. See, that's all right. That's all right. I'm going to see. Okay, there we go. Thank goodness for my phone, man. Sorry about that. People that's watching on the replay. It is what it is. So anyway, like I was saying, man, this dude Yada Awakening, man, he does fit that profile of, you know, one of these dudes that, you know, he talks all that good stuff about, you know, making money, and, you know what I mean, you got to pay your wife $250,000 a year, which I'll be honest, right? Like, if your wife is a part of your business or whatever, like, and you making money like that, you know what I'm saying? You making you making a million, 2 million, 3 million a year. Oh, you welcome, A-Team. You welcome. I mean, that's a good salary. Why, you know what I'm saying? Why not? You know what I mean? Like, I don't have a problem. But see, the thing is with these dudes that, like, quote unquote, got it like that, I guess you could say. See, with a lot of that, it comes with real strict guidelines. You see what I'm saying? And you're subject to treatment that you probably shouldn't be subject to. So, but at the same time, right? So there's a former football player by the name of Marcellus Wiley, right? Let's take a look at this quick clip right quick.
Former NFL player and sports analyst Marcellus Wiley is locked up in the Orange County Jail tonight. Jail records show that Wiley was arrested Saturday on a charge of domestic battery. He's being held on no bond. We're working to get more information as to what led up to his arrest. Former NFL player and sports analyst Marcellus Wiley is locked up in the Orange County Jail tonight. Jail records show that Wiley was arrested Saturday on a charge of domestic battery. He's being held on no bond. We're working to get more information as to what led up to his arrest.
So the reason I wanted to play that, right, is because you do actually have real life incidences where a dude will get allegations put on him and get the police called on him, and he did not do what he's accused or alleged of doing. Marcellus Wiley is one of the most recent notable victims of a woman who basically is tired of being a wife and she doesn't want to be a wife anymore. You know, so what she did is she called the police and she lied and she made up the allegations that, that he was abusive towards her. And then as we can see, the case was dropped, as we can see. Why was the case dropped? Because it wasn't enough evidence to show that he was abusive towards his I guess you could say his current wife, which will be his ex-wife. So the situation happens, and it's crazy because the situation happens so frequently that when it's actually a real person who really a man who actually didn't do anything for real, it's like it gets swept under the rug. Because when the situation happened with Marcellus Wiley, everybody was talking about it. But then when the case got dropped and it got dismissed by prosecutors, nobody's talking about that. See what I'm saying? So, and by the way, like this dude, Yada Awakening, claims that he's a biochemist. He claims that he's a biochemist, man. Check this out.
That's dope. That's dope. Now, when you
my bad. Hold on. Let me take that off the screen.
say a biochemist, how long does it take one to actually, become a biochemist?
It just depends because I studied in Senegal. Yeah, I studied in Senegal, West Africa. And I know you said you were from Nigeria,
yes,
also
sir.
West Africa.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I studied out there and I put a lot of work in, man. Years, brother.
Yeah. So this is the one thing, right? Because this is the one thing I want to know from you,
Okay.
right? While you were in that journey of actually becoming a biochemist, and I think this is where a lot of men, right, we go left or right. While we're pursuing something, you have to be focused.
Right.
Right. And women can be pursuing. This is where you were in that thing, right? Because
Years, brother.
yes, sir.
Yeah, I studied in Senegal, West Africa.
Biochemist. Does it take one to act chemist? How long? That's dope. That's dope. Now, when you say a biochemist, how long does it take one to actually, become a biochemist?
It just depends because I studied in Senegal. Yeah, I studied in Senegal, West Africa. And I know you said you were from Nigeria,
yes,
also
sir.
West Africa.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I studied out there and I put a lot of work in, man. Years, brother.
Yeah. So this is the one.
So he claims that he studied to become a biochemist in Senegal. I think that's West Africa. That's what he said, right? Now, when asked how long does it take to become a biochemist, he said it just depends, right? Now, if you actually went to school to become a biochemist, then you should be able to give us the answer of how long it took you to become a biochemist. You know why he couldn't give you a definite answer? Because he might not be telling the truth. And I'm not saying that he is lying, but how can we check your credentials? How can we validate that you are who you say that you are? You know what I'm saying? So I did a little bit of investigation, you know, because I like to you know, get information, right? So first of all, see here. Okay, so I wanted to get specific. I know what a biochemist is, right? But I like for us to be on the same page. So I'm asking Microsoft, you know, what is a biochemist, right? It says a biochemist is a scientist who studies the chemical processes and substances that occur within living organisms to understand life at a molecular level. That's what a biochemist is, right? So then I'm asking Microsoft, how long does it take you to become a biochemist in Senegal, which is where Yada Awakening claims that he went to school, right? So it says that in Senegal, the path to becoming a biochemist typically follows the Bologna Accord structure, which standardizes higher education into a bachelor's, master's, and doctorate programs. So it says that in Senegal, it takes you about 3 years to get a bachelor's, and for a master's, it's about 2 to 3 years. For doctorate, it's about 3 to 5 years, right? So he should have been able to answer that question very easily when it comes to how long did it take to for him to become a biochemist, right? So then, because he's in America, right? Some of the time, I'm assuming that he also lives in Africa as well. So then I wanted to ask Microsoft, how long does it take to become a biochemist in the United States? It says becoming a biochemist in the United States typically takes 4 to 10 plus years, depending on your career goals and the level of specialization you pursue. So obviously, as we can see here, 4 years for a bachelor's. And then I'm assuming after you get your bachelor's, it's going to take you an extra 2 to 3 years for master's and 3 to 6 years for your doctorate, right? So he should have been able to answer that question very easily. But typically, if somebody can't answer a question easy, I'm just going to assume that you're probably not telling the truth. You know what I'm saying? And y'all got to stop believing any and everybody that has a lot of followers and influence, man. Because a lot of these dudes are frauds. They are fake. They are phony. They are scammers. They are hustling you to get a quick buck. And they do this because they know that a lot of people are gullible, vulnerable, and a lot of these dudes will just sell you hope the same way that Barack Obama sold us hope. And we really didn't get anything from Barack Obama when he was president. A lot of these dudes will, you know, sell you a dream and then turn you into a nightmare. So he did a podcast with Angela Yee. The name of the podcast is called Lip Service. And he said a couple of interesting things on this podcast, and I want us to take a listen to it so we can hear what he said together. Make sure y'all hit the like button.
Yeah. I was raised in California, moved around. My mother remarried to a military guy, and that was what it was. And then I started traveling, got into medicine, and then I went to Africa, opened up a hospital.
What part of Africa?
Senegal, West Africa.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, opened up opened up a hospital, got into trucking, and it's just been murder she wrote.
I don't know how somebody just is like.
And see, the fact that he said that, like this is what I'm saying, like, just the way that he's saying it so casual sounds crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just pick up and leave the States, go over to Africa, you open a hospital, and then you get into trucking. You know what I'm saying? Like, that just sounds like almost unbelievable. Now, again, I've never been to Africa, and I don't know, like, you know, the business world. I don't know how easy it is to start a business over there. I'm pretty sure it's a lot easier than the United States. For sure, for sure. Because over here in the States, you got to jump through hoops to start a business, even a small business, right? And I'm not even saying that what he's saying is false, but it just sounds crazy, the fact that you could just leave the States, go to Africa, go to Senegal, become a biochemist, open a hospital, get into trucking. Let's see what else he said.
Like, I'm gonna just go to West Africa and open up. Like, right. How does that even happen?
No, I went there for fun. I went there for fun, and then I seen a lot of opportunities to make some money.
Mm-hmm. So you took advantage of that.
Of course. And then
how does that even happen?
No, I went there for fun. I went there for fun, and then I seen a lot of opportunities to make some money.
Mm-hmm.
So, over here in the United States, there's plenty of opportunities to make money over here in the United States. But he said that he went over to Africa for fun, and he saw a lot of opportunities. I'm going to be honest, like, to me, there probably are a lot of opportunities in Africa, for sure. Absolutely. But I'm pretty sure there's a lot of opportunities to scam people as well. So when I hear opportunities, I hear scam. I don't hear, and don't get me wrong, there's a lot of scams in the United States, but I mean, I've heard scams where people go over to Africa, particularly Black Americans go over to Africa. They buy a plot of land, and then, you know what I'm saying? And then they build houses and stuff like that. And then when they build these houses, the people of these African communities and stuff, they take the land back from the Americans, and they seize the property. So I've heard a lot of scams like that over there in Africa, because Black Americans, we don't really know, like, the culture for real like that. And let's keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that there aren't Black Americans that's not scammers, thieves, and all of that kind of stuff, because there are Black Americans as scammers and thieves, right? But let's keep it 100. Africans, Nigerians in particular, are known for scamming. They're known for being scammers. Like, that's just a part of their culture, like, for real, on a major level. Like, even a prime example, like, if you have a Twitter account, right? Or Twitter, aka X, right? Now they tell you, because before you could just be talking to any random person, right? But now when you're talking to people, it actually tells you where they are in the world, right? So when you go and you look at a lot of these accounts, a lot of those accounts on Twitter, are made to look like they're in the United States. But if you look at the location will say Nigeria. It will say Ghana, South Africa, Kenya. So these Africans, man, and I'm not saying that it's all, but they are definitely heavy into scamming culture for sure, for sure. So that was the first thing that I wanted us to hear in this video.
This is your final warning.
Sorry, y'all. We got a quick commercial. Make sure y'all hit that like button, y'all. Let's see here. Where was all right, I think it's right here.
2 wives, right? Is
Of
that
course,
correct?
of
Okay.
course.
So one
crown. You can tell from her eyes to her skin to everything. My woman is my crown. All I do is show her.
Now you also have 2 wives, right? Is
Of
that
course,
correct?
of
Okay.
course, of
So
course.
one wife is here in America, the other
Yes.
one is in West Africa?
Yes,
So the wife that's here is the wife that we talking about today.
yes.
Okay. So both of them are glowing.
Of course. These are my now.
Really? Listen to the question that Angela Yee asked him, right?
I have to.
So both of them is here in America, the other
Yes.
one is in West Africa?
Yes.
Okay. So both of them are glowing.
Of course. These are my now. I have to.
Oh, really? So both of them are glowing, right?
I'm embarrassed.
Both of them are glowing, right? And I'm not saying, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that he did that, right? I don't know if he did that because a lot of people just like to go to social media to create a narrative because they feel like it's going to assist them in whatever it is that they're doing. But we definitely going to talk about that in 1 second, right?
I have to put this out there because a lot of men believe that, they good women for sexual things. It's not that. Mine is based completely on business. My woman in West Africa, she runs a whole trucking company. She lives in a mansion. She's properly taken care of, and I also support her whole family. My wife here runs the company here. They're bosses. She runs the company. She's in charge of the company here. I take care of her whole family. I make things happen. So it's not me, I'm just a sexually craved man and I'm just going out here going crazy. No, I take care of my family.
But you are sexually attracted to both women.
They're beautiful women.
Okay, yeah, no, I've seen them on. I just want to double check that because when you say it's business,
Of course.
I'm just making sure that that's part of the equation too.
Of course. I have.
Yeah. So he has 2 wives, one here in America, one in Africa. The one in Africa runs the trucking business. The one here, you know what I mean? This is the one we talking about. You see what I'm saying? And again, y'all have to be careful, man. Trusting dudes like this, man. The dudes that sell you a dream, make it seem like everything is perfect. They're trying to make it seem like they're the alpha and omega. You got to be careful of dudes like this, man. See, when you hear him talk, when you hear him speak, he's speaking a real good game. Got 2 wives, one in Africa. The one in Africa runs the trucking business, lives in a mansion. He takes care of his wife's family, entire family. That sounds real good, real sweet, right? Until you hear the real thing, the real backstory. And what I'm about to play, this ain't fake. This is real. This ain't fake. This is real. Make sure y'all hit that like button.
Yada is a serial abuser with multiple cases of him hitting women.
Let's run that back.
Yada is a serial abuser with multiple cases of him hitting women.
We're going to get into it, man. Let's go.
With not just his hands, bruh. Now, if you get easily triggered, this is your trigger warning. Anything from this point forward is going to get really disturbing. So let's get into case one. Yada was charged with 5 counts: aggravated assault family violence, aggravated assault family violence, criminal damage to property in a 2nd degree, cruelty to children in a 3rd degree, battery, family violence. At some point in May of 2017, Yada threw exercise equipment at his then wife, Shamik Yada. Now, this could be a dumbbell, or this could be something as light as, I don't know, bruh. All right, an ab roller. Who knows exactly what he threw, but whatever he threw apparently was deadly enough or serious enough to where if it's offensively used against the person, is likely to result in serious bodily injury. So whatever he thrown was serious enough to result in this charge. What you will see and realize as we read further is that this is not an anomaly. This is not just him getting mad in a spur of a moment and throwing a dumbbell or whatever he threw at his wife, which we will find out a little later exactly what that is. It's not a spur of the moment thing. No, this is a recurring thing he's being accused of doing. About a month later, sometime in June, on or about the 29th of June of 2017, he was accused of doing the exact same thing. Throwing an exercise equipment at Shamik Yada, causing serious bodily injury by throwing it at her. And at the time, that was his spouse, that was his wife. And I want the ladies to listen up. You know all that talk about putting things in his woman's name, so whenever they get mad, he can't just take it away from her. You know that, right? Well, apparently he has another way of taking things from them. He just damages it, right? Whenever he gets mad or upset, the things he bought you, the house, the car, well, he just breaks it beyond repair. Yada went ahead and threw the same exercise equipment he threw at her. He threw it at the vehicle at the house, damaging windshield, house windows, walls. Said damage exceeding $500. Now, this could be $300,000 in damages. We don't know. We just know that it exceeded $500, so they had to charge him with a crime. The worst part about all of this is Yada allegedly did this while his kid, under the age of 18 years old, was present to see and hear everything. A man who's so family oriented, bro, blacked out, lost his mind to where he assaulted his wife at the time, damaged the property, the house, while his child was there watching everything. Yo, do you know the amount of trauma this man just caused his kid? Yo, this is insane. But it didn't stop there, bro. Count 5. Count 5. Yada did intentionally cause visibly bodily harm, red marks, and bruising to the person of Shamik Yada, said person being the present spouse of said accused. He threw keys and a lamp at her. Yo, do you know how? This coming out of a movie. A lamp? Homie, he was just reaching for anything. He was just reaching for anything to hit her with. Yo, this is disgusting, man. But it doesn't stop here, because there's another case we have to discuss. This appeared to be just an updated indictment. So this one was actually updated, on the 1st of February, 2019. Now, this was updated to include exactly what he threw at his wife. He threw a weight plate at his wife. A weight plate. So again, I don't care if the weight plate is 20 pounds, 10 pounds, 45 pounds, bruh. Those things hurt. Those things will hurt anybody, bruh. Yo, you treat an animal like this. You treat another man who's violent. Yo, you don't throw no weight plate at your woman, bruh. But this is the man who's pandering, who's catering, who's doing whatever he can do to speak to the boss babes of social media, who thinks anything that glitters is gold. They see his flashy lifestyle. They see, him professing to give his wife a lot of gifts. They think he's the perfect man. Come to find out, bro, you gotta endure a lot for those gifts behind the scenes.
Make sure y'all hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell. Leave a comment after the stream.
We have got to the point where literally
Got a quick commercial break.
Exactly what you have to endure. But as bad as this is, which I think it's incredibly bad, this still isn't the worst of what Yada is out here doing. Yada has been out here telling people he's a biochemist for years with absolutely no proof of his credentials. Like, look at how sketchy he sounds explaining exactly where he went to school and how long he studied to be a biochemist. Now, like, as you watch this, also too, take into the account that he's talking to like actual like engineers. I believe my bro who asked this question, man, he's like a civil engineer, so he knows exactly what he's talking about.
Yada, the scammer 101.
Supplements. And when it comes to relationships, I believe myself, I have mastered it because I follow the teachings of God.
That's dope. That's dope. Now, when you say a biochemist, how long does it take one to be to actually, become a biochemist?
It just depends because I studied in Senegal. Yeah, I studied in Senegal, West Africa. And I know you said you're from Nigeria,
Yes,
also
sir.
West Africa.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I studied out there and I put a lot of work in, man. Years, brother. Years, brother.
Yeah. So this is the one thing, right? Because
Where did you study and for how long did you study? That's a very simple question.
Exactly.
If you were an actual biochemist, hey, yo, I studied, bruh, at Temple University for 7 years. Yo, I studied at USC for 5 years. You could give a college and a time frame. Yada said,
Even, you know what I'm saying? Like, as much as people accuse Dr. Umar of being a fraud and a scammer, even Dr. Umar will tell you where he went to school. He will tell you the degrees that he has. He will tell you how long he went to school. Even Dr. Umar will tell you like those simple things that we should all know. You feel what I'm saying? Let's go.
hey, yo, I studied in Senegal. For years, brother. Years, brother. Years. How Senegal? Yeah, Senegal for you. So now there's no way to like contact the university. He hasn't even given a university, but there's no way to contact the university to find out. Okay, was he there? Like Senegal, bro. How do you even contact Senegal? This is just sickening. Now, lying about having a degree isn't worse than putting your hands on your wife. But you know what is, though? Using that degree to do things to put the lives of millions of people in danger. You see, Yada is going around claiming, yo, I'm a biochemist. I know what's good for you. And then he gives the advice to people under the authority that he's a biochemist. And his authority is, if you have cancer, you should never do radiology. You shouldn't do chemo. You should never do chemo if you have cancer. And he's giving advice to people under the authority of, I'm a biochemist, listen to me. This advice is going to kill a lot of people.
The worst thing for a cancer patient to do is go get chemo
Let's see,
radiation. Why?
we go.
Because cancer's
Skip.
in the saturated toast. They suck with at least half the truth.
Don't listen to the doctor. Don't take the chemo and the radiation. Don't do it. No. If you want to cure your cancer, I have some apple cider here. I have my own.
Yeah, again, you gotta be careful, man, listening to dudes like this Yada dude, man. You really do, man. You really do. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to your health and all of that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Just be careful, man. These dudes is out here just to make a quick buck and scam you, man. Point blank, period, man. A lot of these dudes are telling you information that you already heard, that you heard 1,000 times, man. A lot of these dudes, they not really giving you no new information. You know what I'm saying?
Personal concoction that I created that I'm selling. Buy this to cure your cancer. They don't want you to have this. It's gonna be illegal pretty soon in the United States because this is curing everybody. You should be locked up. This man should be in jail. Bro, what do you mean don't do chemo but come and buy my concoction I'm selling if you want to cure your cancer? This is just sick. It's disgusting. This is taking grifting to another level, even the best of grifters, even the most grifting of grifters, I don't think they would feel comfortable selling a cancer treatment and telling people not to take chemo and radiation and to come and buy your cancer treatment instead. This is sad and disgusting, bruh.
Yeah, and Flacco, I know I'm using your video, but we gonna have to talk about your behavior too. But we gonna do that in a whole nother video because you've been saying some disrespectful things about Black Americans, man. So I heard. I don't know the full situation of what you've been doing and saying, but I'm gonna check it out and we gonna have a conversation, sorta. I'm gonna address it, absolutely. But we gonna handle that at a later time. But right now, this is what Queen Yada has to say about the whole situation.
I'm embarrassed, I'm ashamed, I'm hurt. But I know I'll make it through. I've tried everything. Everything. I'm here getting the rest of my stuff. I'm embarrassed, I'm ashamed, I'm hurt. But I know I'll make it through. I've tried everything. Everything. I'm here getting the rest of my stuff. I'm embarrassed.
Yeah. But that's this is his wife that's over here in America, Queen Yada. Believe that's her name. Or Aja Yada. Listen, I know I have my opinion on this dude. But in my opinion, it's only a matter of time before, he gets the Andrew Tate treatment. That's my opinion. Now, I hope for his sake of being a Black man in America, that he can somehow prove that it's not true that he didn't do that. I hope he can find some kind of way to prove that, you know what I'm saying, like these allegations are not true. Because I feel like if it is true, it might be a wrap for him. And at the end of the day, man, listen, man, there's no reason for you to be putting your hands on a woman. Point blank, period. I don't care how much she pisses you off. I don't care how angry you get at her. I don't care what type of shenanigans she pulling. There's no reason for you, for a grown ass man to put his hands on a woman. Point blank, period, man. It just looks bad, you know what I'm saying? And it is bad. You know what I'm saying? Walk away from the situation. Don't even allow yourself to be in a situation where something like that, where you know that something like that could, if you know that you and another person, that y'all don't got good energy, that y'all don't got good vibes, like y'all should not be in the same room. Even dudes with other dudes, man. Like if you know that, you know, a certain dude is prone to turn up, I wouldn't even be around that situation. Point blank, period, man. Like for me, I ain't even about to put myself in a situation where I'm about to jeopardize my freedom and reputation. And that's why having a good reputation is important as well, because your reputation could be a saving grace. Now, when you have a reputation of being a scammer, liar, fraud, you know, all of that, if anything happens, like, people are going to rush to judgment before we even know the situation. You know what I'm saying? Just like that situation that I played earlier with Marcellus Wiley. It's like, wait a minute. Marcellus Wiley doesn't have a history of, you know, being abusive. He doesn't have a rap sheet. He doesn't have a history of disorderly conduct and all of that kind of stuff. So even when I first heard it, I was like, man, this can't be true. Like, and if it is true, like what happened to get him to that point? Because up until that point, Marcellus Wiley has basically been a stand-up citizen, like, and a stand-up dude for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, posted pictures of him taking care of his children on IG. You know, when he does it, sometimes I catch his live streams and he's talking positively about his children and how proud he is of his children. You know what I'm saying? I've even caught him, you know, giving compliments to his wife sometimes when I tune in. See what I'm saying? So when you have a good reputation, people are more prone to give you the benefit of the doubt instead of rushing to judgment and automatically assuming that you're doing what you're alleged of, or that you did what you're alleged of. So, for Yada Awakening's fault, I hope it's not true. I hope he can come up with some type of proof that he didn't do that. I hope he can show that maybe she slipped and fell in the kitchen. Yeah, I mean, this is a dude that claims to be a multi-millionaire, so hopefully he got cameras in the house. Otherwise, what's the use in having these big ass houses if you're not gonna, you know what I'm saying? You're not gonna protect yourself. The right way. You got mansions and all that. You need to make sure you got cameras in places so that you could see everything. So be careful listening to these dudes, man. A lot of these dudes just out here making a quick buck. A lot of these dudes are scamming. A lot of these dudes is leading y'all in the wrong direction, man. So with that said, I really don't have I don't have nothing else to say about this situation, man. Make sure y'all follow me on Rumble, rumble.com/user/zone864TV. Gonna be trying some different things with my YouTube channel and stuff like that, man. So yeah, appreciate everybody that came through. Appreciate everybody that hit the like button. Make sure that you guys leave a comment after the stream. It helps get the video in the algorithm. And make sure y'all like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Okay? Until